عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you doing? Okay, no problem. No problem. I will start. Inshallah, I think we'll do مراجعة from Monday. I have a question. Tell me on Monday, because I will be traveling. Can we have the lesson 3 hours later? Just tell me, like, you don't need to answer now. Just think about it. Is it possible for you? It would make it way easier for me because I will be in Europe and might be challenging. You'll tell me. 3 hours could be, yeah, not more than 3 hours, but yeah, we can have it 3 hours later. That would be good. So that would be 10 CET, 10 time in Europe. Anyways, let's continue, inshallah. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد رسول الله. يقول المصنف رحمه الله نفعنا به في الدارين آمين. So we were talking first thing first in the I mean previous مسائل. If we go back in the أقرب المسائل وفسد إن نقص عما ذكر وأتمه إن دخل وإلا فسخ إن لم يتمه ولها نصفه أو بما لا يملك كخمر وحر أو بإسقاطه أو أو كقصاص أو دار فلان أو بعضه لأجل مجهول أو لم يقيد لأجل أو ب50 سنة and so on. We'll talk about the cases where a marriage would be invalid. Of course, it's always confirmed after الدخول because it's everything is related to الصداق. But we were in this مسائل where it's invalid because of the a problem with the mahr. So now he says أو بمعين بعيد كخراسان من الأندلس وجاز كمصر من المدينة إن لم يشترط الدخول قبله وضمنته بالقبض إن فات أو بمغصوب علماه لا أحدهما أو باجتماعه مع بيع أو وهبت نفسها وثبت بعد البناء بالمثل أو تضمن إثباته رفعه كدفع العبد في صداقه وملكته بالدخول أو كان شغارا. So, let's stop before الشغار. We will talk about the shigar today. Allahu A'lam. Let's have a look. Yes, yeah. Normally we should cover الشغار. Or maybe, because I'm thinking about, no, I think we'll have to, yeah, we'll cover الشغار definitely. Inshallah. Okay, so he says, أو وقع الصداق بمعين عقار أو غيره قارن أو غيره بعيد جدا كخراسان مدينة بالعجم في أقصى المشرق من الأندلس بأقصى المغرب لأن الشأن أن لا يدرك المعين معين على حاله وقت العقد فيكون من الغرر. So, not valid if the sadaq is something specific, like a house, a specific house, not any house, one specific house that is known, or a specific horse or anything, that is far, like Khurasan from Al-Andalus. Khurasan from Al-Andalus, it's considered very far. And why do we say that? Because with such distances, and at that time, it might have required maybe 6 months to go there, or 9 months. Um, there are huge chances that the thing that was given as a sadaq, or we could talk about, in the case of a transaction also, but here we're not talking about transactions. Even though a sadaq against having access to the lady is a sort of transaction. And nikah, marriage, is a contract. But anyways, that's not what to talk about. So here there are big chances that the thing has changed. وجاز بمعين غائب على مسافة متوسطة كمصر من المدينة المنورة، ومحل الجواز إن لم يشترط الدخول بالزوجة قبله. So it's permissible to have the same, exactly the same thing as right before, but the distance is lesser than this. It's from Misr to Al-Madinah. And Misr to Al-Madinah, we had in another mas'ala that it is, 3 months and a half, right? So that would be permissible. But that's permissible if there is no condition that is put, of course, by the husband, to have the dukhul happen before she gets that thing, before she gets her sadaq. أي قبل قبضه. فإن شرط الدخول قبل قبض معين فسد وفسخ قبل الدخول، وثبت بعده بصداق المثل، وهذا في غير العقار. وأما العقار فلا يضر فيه الشرط المذكور، لأن الشأن بقاؤه على هيئته. وعلم منه أن المعين القريب جدا يجوز مطلقا، شرط الدخول قبله أو لم يشترط. So, added to what we said, if there is a condition that dukhul happens before she gets her hand on that thing, or any qabd happen, it doesn't have to be her, it could be someone she knows who would do the qabd for her, who would be her wakil, that she calls an uncle, I don't know, and he's like, okay, I would get that thing, and once this is she got it, then it will be qabd. Now, if there's a condition, okay, I want dukhul happening before the qabd, it will be invalid and invalidated, the marriage invalidated before the dukhul. It will be confirmed after dukhul with sadaq al-mithl. And this is for anything else but real estate. As for real estate, this condition is not a problem. It has no impact. This condition has no impact on the contract. Anything that is at a distance closer to what we mentioned, so closer to Misr from Al-Madinah, could be Misr from Tunis. No, Misr from Al-Madinah, sorry, it's more like a month. Sorry, I was thinking Tunis, Medina, earlier when I said 3 months and something. No, it should be like maybe a month, maybe less than that. Actually, depends. Misr here would be Cairo, with Qahira. So it might be a month, or maybe less, I'm not sure. So yeah, anything below that would be considered as being close, and therefore the condition is not a problem. وضمنته الزوجة أي ضمنت الصداق في النكاح الفاسد من القبض إن فات بيدها بما يفوت به البيع الفاسد، فترد قيمته للزوج وترجع عليه بصداق المثل إن دخل، فإن لم يفت ردته بعينه، وإن دخل في الفاسد لعقده مضى بالمسمى. So first, the guarantee of the value of that thing will be on the shoulders of the wife when she gets a hand on the sadaq, when she does the qabd. And here we're talking in the case of a marriage, an invalid marriage, because she has to give it back, right? She has to give it back to the husband because the marriage is invalid. So there's no reason for her to keep the sadaq. And that means that if anything, any fawad happens, you know, if she sells it, if she gives it to someone, if it's broken, if it's an item and she paints it in red when it was dark, or anything that would be considered a fawad, or the price of the thing changes in the marketplace, any of these causes of fawad, then she will have to basically give the al-qima. She will have to give the value of the thing back to the husband. If dukhul happened, on the other hand, she will get sadaq al-mithl. So she gives back the qima, the value of the sadaq she got, but the marriage is invalid, so we cancel it. And she would get sadaq al-mithl if dukhul happened. Of course, if there's no fawad, she gives back the item as it is. Last thing the author mentions, if dukhul happened, of course, we're always talking about an invalid marriage. But here, dukhul happened in a marriage that is invalid. Why? Not because of the sadaq, but because of the contract. Because of the contract. In such a scenario, the marriage, of course, in this kind of, we're not talking here about something that would make it an invalid marriage before and after الدخول. مضى بالمسمى. Okay, مضى بالمسمى, so she would get the musamma, the mahr that she actually has in her hand, so she would not give the value back. That's what it means. أو أي وفسد النكاح إن وقع صداقه بمغصوب أو مسروق علماه معا فيفسخ قبل البناء ويثبت بعده بصداق المثل، ويثبت بعد بصداق المثل. نعم. لا إن علم بغصبه أحدهما فقط فلا يفسخ وترجع بقيمة المقوم مثل مثله. Okay. So, another مسألة. If the dowry is something that has been taken from someone else without their permission, or stolen, I say, of course, like in English, the first thing I just mentioned is everybody would say, yeah, that thing has been stolen. But here I keep stolen for مسروق من السرقة. That's why I said, oh, someone took something without the permission, because that's مغصوب, that's غصب. It's not the same category. It's not the same category. So in the case, they both know that this dowry is from something that has been that is مغصوب. Okay. then the nikah will be cancelled. It's invalid. Obviously, it's invalid before al-bina. If al-bina happened, then it's valid. I mean, it's valid. It's validated. يثبت يعني. It is made, we validate it, sort of. But it will be بصلاق المثل. So this thing would be given back to the person normally. This thing that was stolen, and now she will get صلاق المثل. لا إن علم بقصبه أحدهما فقط فلا يفسخ. If only one of the two knew that it is something that has been stolen or taken without asking for permission, then there is no fasakh. There is no fasakh. And the wife will get what? قيمة المقوم ومثل المثل. Because obviously that thing, we don't keep it here. It will be given back to its owner. And so now the wife needs to get something. So she will get what? The qima, the same value of that thing that has been, that is mahsub. And if it's mithliyat, she will get the mithliyat. أو وقع باجتماعه مع بيع في عقد واحد كبعتك هذه السلعة وزوجتك بنتي ب100. أو دفع الزوج لها سلعة كدار صداقا على أن يأخذ منها 100. أو دفعت للزوج دارا على أن يدفع لها 100 في نظير الصداق والدار. ومثل البيع القراض والقرض والشركة والصرف والمساقات والجعالة لا يصح اجتماعها مع النكاح في عقد واحد. So, also invalid if the marriage happened with a dowry, and I mean, there's more like, sorry, there's a gathering of the marriage and a transaction in the same contract, in one contract. Like if someone says, I sell you this this thing, and I give you as a wife my daughter for 100, whatever the money, whatever the would be 100 dinar. Yeah, we're not talking about the how high is the mahr. Or like the husband gives like a house. That would be the sadaq, but at the same time, but he gets 100 from the woman. So basically, that's part of the house that is the dowry, but there's part also that is sold because he gets 100. Probably we can say 100 dinar. You see, so here there are two things. أو دفعت للزوج دارا على أن يدفع لها 100 في نظير الصداق والدار. Or she is the one giving to the husband a house so that he gives to her 100, and this 100 are for the sadaq and for the house. Here we have cases of gathering two things, and this is not valid. And likewise, if you gather marriage with a qirad or contract or a qard, lending, or a sharika, a partnership, sarf, change, musaqat, let me find. Sharecropping. Okay, métayage in French.
الشرح.
sharecropping.
Yeah.
Yeah. والجعالة. Well, جعالة has no equivalent in English, is there? Oh, it's a task-based payments or something, task-based, I don't know. Basically, you do something and when you finish, you get the money, which is not like an ijara. Now, all of these things cannot be gathered with a marriage in one single contract. So what you'll have to do, you sell the house, in the example given, to the person, and then you give that person her dowry, for example, or any other solution. Just don't do it in one single contract. أو وهبت بالبناء المفعول للمجهول المفعول. Okay. Yeah, okay. I see. وهبت نفسها نائب فاعل، أي يعني أن الولي إذا وهب بنته لرجل على أن يستمتع بها بلا صداق، أو أن المرأة قالت لرجل وهبتك نفسي، وقال الولي أمضيت ذلك وشهدت الشهود على ذلك، فإنه يكون فاسدا يفسخ قبل الدخول. So if she gives herself or her wali gives herself to the husband, like if he says, I gave you my my daughter so that you can, derive pleasure as men and women do, husband and wife, with no sadaq. Or if the wife says to a man, I give myself to you, and and the wali confirms, and you have shuhud, and everything is there, still it would be invalid, meaning to be dissolved before the dukhul. This marriage shouldn't be confirmed. وثبت بعد البناء بالمثل، أي بصلاق المثل للدخول على إسقاط المهر. نقله في التوضيح عن ابن حبيب قال: واعترضه الباجي وقال: بل يفسخ قبل الدخول وبعده، وهو زنا يحدان فيه وينتفى عنه الولد. Okay, well, so in all of these cases we have the same thing. ثبت بعد البناء بالمثل. Okay, this is very simple. Okay, بصداق المثل. And this more precisely, okay, because we talk about the other mas'ala, but here the author is talking more specifically about the last mas'ala. That's why he says وَلِلدُّخُولِ عَلَى إسقاط المهر. And that's what Sheikh Khalil brought in التوضيح, a نقل, a transmission of a text from Ibn Habib. And he says, and when Khalil says that Imam al-Baji sort of disagreed with Ibn Habib, and Imam al-Baji says, no, it should be dissolved before and after the consumption. And it is zina, and both should be punished for that. Had. And the son or the daughter, the kid, if they have a kid, would be a son of zina. And they say because أي لأن تمليك الذات مناف للنكاح فكيف يثبت بعده بصدق المثل، ويجاب بأنه بمنزلة النكاح على إسقاط الصداق، وقربه له شهود البينة على الهبة التأمل. So why is Al-Baji saying that? Because to give possession of things, الذوات, that is contrary to what marriage is for, or to the idea of marriage. And so that's why, yes, he has. فكيف يثبت بعد الصداق المثلي? So he's saying, because we have this problem of like giving oneself or giving someone else to someone doesn't go in line with the principle of getting married, of nikah. So how can it be confirmed after the الدخول with صداق المثل? How is it possible, Imam al-Baji says, right? Because giving is something very specific. To give or to give in sadaqah, whatever the kind of gift you're doing, still it goes, the whole idea is it goes against, right? But the answer here, why Imam al-Baji is not right, because the way we look at it here is not that, oh, she gives herself, as in she's a thing and she gives herself to the husband, but here we look at what is happening, and actually what is happening is just the mahr is being bypassed, is being cancelled. So there's a tentative to get married without a proper sadaq. That's why we say that. أو تضمن إثباته أي العقد رفعه أي إبطاله كدفع العبد الذي زوجه سيده بحرة أو أمة في صداقه بأن جعله صداقا لها أو سمى لها عبدا وجعل الزوج المسمى، فثبوت النكاح يتضمن ملك الصداق الذي هو الزوج، وملك الزوج يتضمن رفع النكاح ويفسخ قبل البناء ولا شيء فيه. If the sadaq implies its own the negation, so the sadaq and the contract implies the negation of the contract itself. And what example do they give? كدفع عبد, if someone gives a slave. And here it's a slave, he gives it, I should say, he gives it as a mahr. Okay, so here it is a sadaq is a slave. في صداقه. Okay, so that's a slave. And he's the one getting married to the lady. So I know it's a twisted mas'ala, but you could think that that's the kind of things that might have happened in the past. You have a slave. Oh, you will get married to that lady. Not because you asked me, maybe. Okay, the master is nice, but you will be the sadaq, right? And so this is just not possible. Why? Because here, when the nikah is confirmed, the possession of the sadaq is confirmed also. Here it is said slave. At the same time, to own the slave means owning the husband, because he's the husband at the same time. And this owning the husband has the action of being رافع للنكاح. So it is canceling or aborting, or destroying the nikah. And here you remember also, that's a mas'ala we saw earlier. You can't get married to your own slave, right? You need to free the slave. So there's no possibility to own the person you are married with. There is opposition here. Um, نعم. رفع النكاح فيفسخ قبل البناء ولا شيء فيه. So yeah, again, that's a case of a marriage that is cancelled before the bina. And لا شيء فيه. لا شيء فيه. That means in the case there is divorce, or here there's the fasakh before the bina, she doesn't get anything, because it's not even considered a proper musamma. Okay, even though technically we would say, oh, but that's al-musamma, that's nikah, nikah with a known dowry. But this is not the case. If it was considered with a known dowry, a musamma, she would be entitled to half of it, right? Because fasakh before al-bina means you can get half of it. We talked about it a few weeks ago, right? But here, no, she would get nothing if no dukhul happened, nothing like this happened. She would get nothing. وإن دخل ملكته بالدخول لأنه من الفاسد لعقده فيملك فيه المسمى بالدخول وإن كان لا ثبات له. So, what happens if dukhul happens? So, she becomes now the owner of that slave, and this is a contract that is invalid لعقده لا لصداقه. Okay, the invalidation or the invalid nature of this marriage is connected to the contract, not to the sadaq. And yeah, so بالدخول when dukhul happens, she gets the musamma. Okay, she gets the slave, or more if it was more. Okay, but at least when it comes to slave, she gets it. And obviously this marriage, because it's a marriage that is invalid before and after, so it's invalid yani, with no limit of time. They are not married, so she is now the owner of a slave, but they are not married. Next مسألة, it's about الشغار. أو كان النكاح شغارا فإنه يكون فاسدا بأنواعه الثلاثة. أشار إلى الأول بقوله. Or also invalid if it is nikah الشغار. And the three subcategories or categories of shigar are all invalid. And so he talked about the three categories. كزوجني بنتك مثلا ب100 على أن أزوجك ابنتي ب100 مثلا، فمدار الفساد على توقف إحداهما على الأخرى تساوي المهران أم لا. وأما لو وقع على سبيل الاتفاق من غير توقف لجاز، وهو أي ما ذكر من قوله زوجني إلى آخره وجهه أي وجه الشغار يفسخ قبل الدخول يعني، ويثبت بعد بالأكثر من المسمى وصداق المثل. So if someone says give me your daughter in marriage for 100, and as a promise or as a part of the same contract, I give you my daughter as wife for 100, for example. So here, the reason why it's invalid is because the contract is suspended from both sides. If I give you my daughter, I get married with you to your daughter. You know, here, that's the reason. That's the reason. Is that توقف إحداهما على الأخرى. Both are dependent. Could say it's as if there is no jazm. Say like Mary is putting like a condition, and this making it conditional is what is making it impermissible. Now, in case the same scenario happens, except that it was not done intentionally. Maybe they are using agents. So there's one wakil that goes to one of the two men and tells him, oh, there is Fulana that wants to get married for a dowry of 100. And blah, blah, blah. She's from good family or whatever. And the other one, the wakil of the first one, goes to him and says, oh, there is this young lady, she wants to get married, and it happens that both are the daughters of the other one. So, but none of them know. So here it will not be a shirar. It would just be random. Like, okay, randomness doesn't exist. Everything is in the will of Allah. But fi dhahir, some random, weird, spooky events. But it happened that was the daughter of this one, and this was the daughter of that one. Okay, now, this kind of shirar is wajh al-shirar. It's not sarih al-shirar. It's wajh al-shirar. It's cancelled before the dukhul and confirmed after. نعم. وإن لم يسمي لواحدة منهما فصريحه أي الشغار، وإن سمى لواحدة دون الأخرى فمركب منهم. Now, the two other kinds of nikah al-shigar, it's when when one of the two has no mahr that is given. So one of the two says, okay, marry me your daughter, and I for 100, or let's say I give you as a wife my daughter if you give me your daughter as a wife, and one of the two is giving a mahr, a dowry, addition, but the other side doesn't give a dowry. That's wajh al-shirar. Now, this is wajh al-shirar. uh, no, subhanallah. No, this is the murakkab. Afwan. Sorry, I'm tired. You probably see like my eyes. No, when it's one side, it's murakkab only. When both sides have no mahr, it is sarih. Okay, my bad. Um, I will finish the hour, but I don't know if I will be able to go up to 1 hour and a half. I'm just too tired. Let's continue, inshallah. At least like until the break we usually have, this 5 minutes, and this half hour we can, inshallah, make it up later. وفسخ الصريح وإن في واحدة أبدا قبل الدخول وبعده وفيه أي الصريح وإن في واحدة بالدخول صداق المثل ولا شيء فيه قبله ككل فاسد مطلقا. So the صريح is invalid أبدا, forever. It's invalid أبدا. And when دخول happens, there's صداق المثل. There's صداق المثل. Before the دخول, there is nothing because it is an invalid marriage. There is nothing. وثبت به أي بالدخول الوجه أي وجه الشغار وإن في واحدة ويفسخ قبله. And before the دخول, the وجه الشغار, so the first type we talked about, so with the دخول it is confirmed. And every time you see they say وإن في واحدة وإن في واحدة وإن في واحدة. It's always like because we have two sides and we have two daughters that are given to the other to the other one, to the other man. But even if dukhul happened with one of the two, then the whole contract is confirmed, right? ولها فيه أي في الوجه به أي بالدخول ولها في 100 وشيء حرام كخمر أو 100 مع 100 الحالة مؤجلة لمجهول كموت أو فراق الأكثر من المسمى للدخول بها وصداق المثل ولو زاد صداق المثل على الجميع أي المعلوم والمجهول كما لو كان صداق المثل 250 ولو كان 200 أخذتهما لأنهما أكثر من المسمى الحلال وهو 100 ولو كان صداق المثل 90 أخذت المسمى وهو 100 الحلال. So for وجه الشغار when دخول happens and for a mahr that is, for example, like $100 or 100 dinar and something impermissible like wine. Or that's the first thing. Okay, we have number one, wajh al-shirar. Number two, money or anything halal together with something haram. So the sadaq is mixed in its permissibility, we could say. Or 100 okay, 2 times 100. The first 100 is hal. You give it now. And there's another 100 that is delayed. لمجهول كموت أو فراق. To a date that is not known. Okay, we talked about how this is not valid. The ta'jil, the ajal, the date must be known. كموت, like for example, until we die. Okay, or until you die, or until fulan dies, or until anyone else dies. In all of these cases, she would have the highest or the largest amount between the musamma, and this is when dukhul happens, keep in mind, after dukhul. The more between al-musamma or sadaqul mithli. That's what she's entitled to. ولو زاد ساق المثل على الجميع المعلوم والمجهول، كما لو كان ساق المثل 250 ولو كان 200 قصدهما لأنهما أكثر من المسمى الحلال وهو 100، ولو كان صداق المثل 90 أخذت المسمى وهو 100 الحلال. So basically, it's just an explanation. If صداق المثل is higher than the musamma, then she will get صداق المثل. If the musamma is higher, she will get the musamma. There's nothing too complicated here. It's pretty basic. ولو كان في المهر ما هو حال كمئة حالة وما هو مؤجل بأجل معلوم كمئة إلى سنة وما هو مؤجل بأجل مجهول كموت أو فراق معلوم كما مثلنا ألغى قدر عفوا أو فراق فالمجموع I jumped a line sorry فالمجموع 300 قدر صداق المثل بالمؤجل المعلوم إن كان فيه مؤجل معلوم كما مثلنا وألغي المجهول. Okay, so if in the dowry you have something that is to be given now and is given now, like 100, for example, and something that is delayed for a date that is known, for example, 100 in 1 year, and something that is delayed to a date that is unknown, as we said, كموت أو فراق. فالمجموع 300 300 we have. قدر صداق المثل بالمؤجل المعلوم إن كان فيه مؤجل معلوم كما مثلنا وألغي المجهول. صداق المثل is appreciated, would say. It is considered or is evaluated based on the مؤجل المعلوم, what is delayed, this part that is 100 that is delayed. If there is something that is delayed, and anything that is unknown is not considered because it is haram. You will see this is problematic, right? Because that's not how, like, sadaq al-mithl, it's not the concept. It's not something that you evaluate based on the rest of the sadaq and something that is delayed. And let's continue to read and then we come back to it. ثم يقال, and it is said, or it would be said, ما صدق مثلها على أن فيه 100 حالة و100 مؤجلة لسنة، فإن قيل 200 فقد استوى المسمى الحلال وصدق المثل وتأخذ 200 100 حالة و100 مؤجلة لسنة، وإن قيل عفوا 150 أخذت المسمى وهو 200 كذلك لأنه الأكثر، وإن قيل 300 أخذت 200 حالتين و100 مؤجلة لسنة، وإن لم يكن في الصداق مؤجل معلوم اعتبر الحال فقط وألغي المجهول على كل حال. So here he's explaining, like, okay, from there, what are we doing exactly? We asked the question, what is صداق المثل of such a lady, like, when there is a part here that's half, one part that is given now, and one part that is delayed by 1 year. If it's said, okay, she would get 200 also, like basically it's the same thing, then she gets 200 and خلاص, we close the topic. There's no need to go further. It's all the same. If the answer is 150, she takes the musamma, which is 200, because it's the highest value. If the answer is 300, she would get 200 right now and 100 that is delayed for after one year. You could say why would it be different, And the reason why it would be different is because there's a delay. That's why maybe she negotiated, or she got this 100 now, 100 later. But maybe for some others it would be different, and so the habit in the place might be different. Now, if there's nothing that is mu'ajjal, then we don't need to talk about it. We just remove the majhul, meaning the sadaq that is delayed to a date that is not known. Okay, now let's have a look at the حاشية. Well, this question of صداق المثل. استشكل هذا بأن صداق المثل إنما ينظر فيه لأوصاف المرأة من مال وجمال وحسب ونسب، ولا ينظر لحلول ولا تأجيل. وجب بأن النظر للحلول والتأجيل عند جهل الأوصاف المذكورة. So, problem. صداق المثل. We said it's what? It's the sadaq that is given to a wife like her, considering her wealth, her beauty, nasab, so lineage, and nasab, the praiseworthy qualities she has in her family, and these things. So normally these are these four things, right? It's not a matter of part of the sadaq is given now, part of the sadaq is given later. The fuqaha answered and said, we look at what? We look at normally we look at المال والنسب والحسب والجمال. Yes. But when we don't know this, maybe it's a lady that is not very known, or she arrived not a long time ago. No one saw her because she's wearing face veil all the time, even in front of the women. Cases that might not happen often, but we can still imagine them. And so, in this situation, we look at generally speaking, what would she get when there is this amount that is given now and this amount that is given later to a date later. And if you allow me, I would request that we stop here, because you've noticed I'm really tired, and also that we talk about some, not something different, but we go to like the manfa'a, and then nikah takwid and so on. And so do you have an answer about Monday? Can we do the lesson later?
The question that you asked earlier, Sheikh?
Yes.
It's fine with me, whatever works for you and everyone. I'm fine.
Okay. Okay. Alhamdulillah. I mean, the other ones, I don't know. You're really the only one that attends all the time, mashallah. And I have to say thank you and congratulations at the same time for being so consistent. That's great. That's great. That's great. And that's important for, when we talk about, passing this year and having the exams and, continuing the next year. In the end, it's the ummah that will benefit, inshallah, from you.
إن شاء الله بارك الله فيكم شيخ.
Okay, barakallah. Okay, I will confirm. I will drop a message in the group saying that on Monday, uh, the lesson will be 3 hours later. Next Saturday, I will be traveling also, and it will probably be very difficult for me to even teach. So, I will try to think about a way. Maybe the following week, we might have the lesson not on Saturday, but have like Monday, Tuesday, something like this, if it's fine for you. If
Okay.
Tuesday is fine. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's what
that's
we'll
fine,
do.
Sheikh. Yeah, whatever works for you, inshallah.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll do because like these 2 weeks, I will travel for work and
Mm-hmm.
to Switzerland and Paris and here and there, and so I will, yeah,
Allah make it easy on you.
I will move a lot. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Especially with the temperatures, like I will drop from 35 degrees to 0. So
Oh, yeah, Allah, it's fine.
yeah. Quite terrible. Well, then, alhamdulillah. I mean, alhamdulillah. Barakallahu fik.
يبارك
See
شيخ.
you on Monday. On Monday. Yeah,
إن شاء الله بارك
inshallah.
الله فيكم. جزاكم الله خيرا.
فيك بارك الله وإياكم. اللهم آمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.